So why exactly did Beyonce and Jay Z finally respond to Jaguar Wright? Well, technically, they responded to Piers Morgan's show, Piers Morgan Uncensored. And why did Piers Morgan comply? We're going to explain that and so much more in the recent update in regards to Beyonce and Jay Z threatening legal action in regards to this Jaguar Wright interview on Piers Morgan Uncensored. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So last night we went live to give you your Diddy update. So if you've been missing out on any of the Diddy news, there were quite a few revelations last night, including one of the accusers being called out by one of her possible witnesses of basically making up the claims and offering him $3 million. Also, Diddy is trying to get bail a third time. So we talked about that and so much more. But one of the other stories that we talked about last night was that Beyonce and Jay Z's attorneys reached out to Piers Morgan's show, Piers Morgan Uncensored, and said that the things that Jaguar Wright said in his conversation with her were completely untrue and false, and demanded an apology. And he had to remove Jaguar Wright's claims of calling them
they're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
So our friends over at Deadline write this: Piers Morgan has apologized after platforming totally false claims against Beyonce and Jay Z on his YouTube channel. Morgan interviewed Jaguar Wright about Sean Diddy Combs' arrest on his Uncensored show last week. During the exchange, the singer called Diddy and Jay Z, quote, monsters, and alleged that Jay Z and Beyonce have hundreds of victims. So during an Uncensored episode yesterday, Piers Morgan opened the show by revealing that he had received a legal letter from the couple in which they refuted the allegations. The former CNN anchor apologized and said Wright's interview was edited to remove her claims.
Last week, I interviewed Jaguar Wright, a singer-songwriter who's made claims about Diddy for years. Those claims had already received a lot of attention in the media across many platforms for many years. And that's the thing about platforms. The reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear. That's why we invited her on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But, like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologize to Jay Z and Beyonce.
So he issues that apology, and a lot of people are saying, why exactly is Jay Z and Beyonce even responding? Jaguar Wright has been making these claims about them for years. Well, one of the things that I mentioned to you guys, and I've been mentioning even before this apology was issued, was the fact that Jay Z and Beyonce do not want to put a spotlight on Jaguar Wright. We've seen this in other celebrity legal cases where if a celebrity decides to sue or put a spotlight on a person, it makes the person become a household name. It makes other media outlets like Deadline talk about a Jaguar Wright. But not only that, shout out to our friend Freddie from Reality Diamond. He dropped us some tea reminding us that Piers Morgan has a contract with News UK. What is News UK? Well, News UK is owned by Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch, as you know, is a billionaire, the billionaire that oversees networks like Fox News. He's worth $20.5 billion. So it should be noted that News UK owns 50% of Piers Morgan's YouTube channel, which has over 3.3 million subscribers. Even if you didn't know this element of News UK being owned by Rupert Murdoch, who has a larger conglomerate, just the fact that Piers Morgan has this huge platform should be enough for us to note, because even in the moment when Piers heard what Jaguar had to say, he was already sort of backpedaling on her claims. But now when you add the element of, well, 50% of this Not only are we talking about Piers Morgan, who's a millionaire, we're talking about a billionaire that's backing this person. But in my research in regards to this, apparently Piers Morgan signed a 3-year contract with News UK. Because originally his show was on a television network. He decided to take it off of television and move it to YouTube. There was an article back in Variety talking about this, that Piers Morgan announced his uncensored show is moving from Talk TV to YouTube, citing, quote, unnecessary straitjacket of TV schedules. In an interview with The Times, Morgan said that he will now focus on growing the uncensored YouTube channel, which has over, at the time, 2.3 million subscribers. He says, it's clear there's a huge global demand for the content we're making, but the commitment to a daily show at a fixed schedule with all the editing and time sensitivities that involves has been an increasingly unnecessary straitjacket. But here's the thing. In following this story and just sort of following the money, when you think about this, he signed a 3-year deal with News UK back in 2021. So if you do the math, his contract should be up for negotiation if he hasn't signed one already. And 3 years later. So he doesn't want to lose Rupert Murdoch's backing. Yes, he already has built a huge YouTube channel, but he doesn't want to lose that support or that relationship. So as for a lot of people have always said, well, if Jaguar Wright is lying, why hasn't any celebrity sued her? First of all, we talked about this before with other attorneys. They do not want the discovery. They don't want any of their other business coming up in court or in the public. They also, or what are they suing for? What exactly are they going to get from suing Jaguar Wright? She doesn't have millions of dollars. It's honestly a waste of time. And the only person that benefits from a Beyonce and Jay Z suing a Jaguar Wright would be Jaguar. Because now all of these other media outlets and platforms are going to be like, who is this woman that Beyonce and Jay Z are suing? However, when Jaguar Wright was invited to a platform that is owned by another billionaire that has a stake in the show, Beyonce and Jay Z felt forced to actually refute these claims. And Piers Morgan did not wait to make sure that he refuted the claims and cover himself. Because if he's in the middle of negotiating his next contract, he doesn't want something like this to hurt that. Guys, as always, I want to know your reaction as to why Beyonce and Jay Z finally decided to speak out against Jaguar Wright's claims of them being...
They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
Let's continue this conversation there. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.